Hey everybody, welcome back to the Sword Fighting School. My name is Stephen Fick with Davenport European Martial Arts School. We got a request on our YouTube channel from Gabriel Ross about the navajas. And I know some about the navajas. I'm going to show you a couple of navajas and point you in a direction for some great information. Let's go ahead and get started. Hey everybody, really looking forward to doing this little video. The Spanish navaja, for those that don't know, is a Spanish style fight that was used amongst the traveling peoples through Spain. It's a large knife that has a ratchet on the end. There are varying sizes of this. I have a couple knives that I wanted to show you. They're both originals. This one is a straight navaja, and this is the sound that is indicative of this weapon. If you hear that in a dark alleyway in Seville, run. That is the equivalent of racking a shotgun. That's not a sound you want to hear. And when you look at the style and the shape of this blade, this tail right here is indicative of this style of knife. There's different lengths, there's different widths, there's modern versions of this made by Cold Steel and other makers. Many of these are still made in Spain. This is your classic navaja style, straight blade. When it's used, it's held up by the blade, so you've got the tail out here. It's not like the knife fights that you see out here. This one, it's held in tight. And it's a cutting and a snapping action. I can thrust with it, I can cover. So it's almost like a tiny saber. It's not. Please don't write and say, that's not a saber. I know that. But what I'm saying is it's the snap of the wrist. I cover and I snap and I slice. But it always returns to here, because if I'm out here, they can do that to the back of my hand as well. So again, this is a classic style navaja. And this one, you can see it's got horn, rivets that go through. This is the mechanism for releasing this blade. When you do it, you want to rest it on your forearm or on your belly, pull that little lever up, and that's what releases the knife. And you can see right here, those little notches on the back right here, that is what catches into the holder. Scary knife. Big, scary, fast. This will do massive, massive damage. That brings us to our next one. The next one is called a saca tripas, which is an old Spanish word which means gut ripper. And that is this bad boy. You can see it's got the same 3 notches there, and it just, but if you look at the shape of that, that is just a terrifying knife. To release this one, it's actually got a ring on the back, so you can put it against your body, pull the ring, and that will reduce it. This style of knife would be carried in the sash. The curved blade is actually a continuation of a 14th century cobbler's knife for cutting leather to make the soles of shoes. Then that cobbler's knife, this style of blade right here, was developed and used in the collection of grapes, because a lot of it's a derogatory term now, so please forgive me, but the traveling peoples, the gypsies, were moving around a lot, and they would use this for cutting grapes off of the branches. And then it was also used for fighting with. And you can see why this would be called a gut ripper. Sacatripas. Imagine being in the back alleys of Seville, walking along, maybe had a few wines, and you hear this. And that's all you see glinting in the firelight of the torches. That's going to be a terrifying place to be. Now, I'm going to ask my friend and partner to come in, John, because I want to use him just as a quick target. So thanks for coming in and helping me with this, John. So when we're looking at the sacatripas, if he were to throw a punch at me, I could cover, hook that and just rip down. Hook the tendons, rip. Look at that whole action right there. I actually cut a little bit of his shirt because that is such a fine point. If I step in and I drive that in and then yank, everything's falling out. If he has his knife, and we're not going to really swing at each other, and he comes in to stab me and I cover that, look how nicely that just takes that whole wrist. This is a terrifying knife. We get in close, go ahead and stab. I can cover that, and as he's retracting, there goes that, just like a bone surgeon, just rip that flesh off. Then all I see is the humerus, which I find humorous. You're welcome. So the sacatripas is another version of the navaja. John, thank you for your help. With this one here, when you look at it, you can see again its horn. It's got the rivets that hold it in place. This one, we've lost some horn on this side, but the lever for the release is right there. And it's such a sharp, devastating, scary knife. I've done some work with the navajas. Most of the work that I've done with it has been under the tutelage of Maestro James Loriega. He's written many books on this. If you want to know more about the navaja, the use of it, and the history of it, I'm going to put a link to Maestro Loriega's books in the description below. Thanks for joining me. Remember, if you hear this, leave, because that's not a place you want to be. Thanks for being here. Remember, guys, if you liked what you saw today, please hit the subscription button and the notification button down here. We're trying to break 2,000 subscriptions so that we can move on up, let people know about this channel. Please share it with your friends. All the best. Take care.